It's the time to get the back end of this truck together and fit all my custom panels for the last time. Coming up. Hey, how's it, jokes, and welcome back to my shop out here in the forest. If you don't know me yet, my name is Diff, like that thing here, the differential, the first part of that word. So yeah, in previous videos I built this load bed and did the boards and the fuel tank, and also built custom side panels and rusted them up. It's time to get them on here. Let's get into that. So unless Murphy sneaked in here at night and sabotaged things, this panel should now be able to slip right on here. Let's see. It does only go in a certain way. There we go. It's basically in place. I've just got to get some bolts in. So the first thing I noticed is that the newly created rust here on my back panel, I used hydrogen peroxide to do that. The color does not quite match the old rust up front. So I need to do something maybe down the line to see if I can sort that out a little bit. And I also feel I might have left on too much paint in this section, maybe even here. But that can also be easily fine-tuned later on. I'll just take off some with the grinder. But yeah, we'll do that later on. Let's get the rest of this in place. So I rounded over the heads of these bolts a little bit. It's so easy to do, and it just adds a tiny little bit of old school flavor. So I've got my bolt screwed into an extension nut, and I'm just going to chuck it here into the drill. And then I'm just going to use the grinder with the flap disc while the drill is turning, just round over that bolt head a little bit. That just adds a nice little touch, I think. And because it's too shiny for me, I'm just going to give a little bit of hydrogen peroxide to rust it up. A few minutes later, we've got some action. My panel here on the right hand side of the truck also went on without any problems, and that's now also firmly bolted in place. So now I still have these gaps here on either side of the wheel tub, but I've already made the boards, so this one will now go in there, and this chappy will fit in right there. Now I've just got to fit my T-section. Which should now go in something like that. There we go. Now I've just got to screw it all down. And the same thing on this side. So this puppy fits in there. This one goes in that. And my specialized T-section. Voila! So our weather is still strange for this time of the year, but according to these beautiful flowers, spring is definitely on its way. Now, why do I get this feeling that I'm going to have a fight on my hands with this running board? Let's see. Well, that's one bolt in place. Lucky me. Here we go. Please hold this for me, Mr. Jack. Well, that's basically in place. Now I must crawl in there and put some more bolts. That's gonna be fun. I think you will agree with me if I say to you that there's not a lot of space here. But I'm winning. One more and then I'm done. There we go. Tight fit, tell you. Cool, both running boards are fitted. So this guy can go back on its feet. So the new rust on my back pieces here doesn't quite match the rust up there yet. But we are starting to blend in. It's starting to come together. I actually think that I might get some of this color mixed up a little bit of it, give it a touch here and there to connect it a little bit more. We'll see down the line. Final fitment of a rusty tailgate, hopefully. It's got to line up the holes for the pins. That's that one. You see this one? There we go. Good show. Okay, now this panel goes in here. And you guys taught me a word I never knew. I believe this is called a roll pan. I never knew that. So now I know. So it's got to bolt my roll pan into place. I'm going to have to give my bolts the rust treatment. They're standing out too much, I think. Need to make them look old as well. You guys see I still short one. I gotta go look for that. But yeah, basically it's in place. So with these pieces now in place, it's time that I finally conclude this whole taillight business. Those of you that have been following along on this build will remember in a previous video that I made this bezel to sit there, something like that. But I was never really completely satisfied with it. I also couldn't fit it finally because there was a little bit of interference here with the inside structural member, which has since been sorted out. So I've decided to come up with something different. So here's my latest creation. This piece I've got some flat bar all around, all the way around, 20mm, 3/4 inch. And my plan now is to actually weld it in place like that, fully and completely. The idea being that it will now look as if this whole side piece protrudes some. It will break up the flatness here more, and then my lenses will fit on there. So I think that's going to be looking a whole lot better. Let's get into doing that. So I've got this back to bare metal so I can get some decent welding. Now I did consider putting this at a slight angle
like some of you guys suggested. The problem is I need to actually increase that angle quite a bit. Maybe to down there to get enough clearance. Because as the taillight goes in, the back end of it needs to clear a structural member on the inside of this. And this angle is just too much for me, it doesn't look right. So I think I'm just going to do the boring thing and mount it horizontally, like that. Right, I think I've got it lined up as best as I can get it. Let me get a couple of taps in place. Well, it ain't gonna go anywhere now. I'm just going to weld it up. Just a final go over with the flap disc to blend everything in nicely. And now it's time for the spray job. Some of that peroxide muti to get all the colors the same. Let that work for a while. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Alchemy at work. So it's about an hour later with 2 more of that peroxide application since, and it's now pretty much blended in with the rest of this panel. So let's stick in these taillights and see what it looks like. Just got to get this through my holes, which is going to require a little bit of careful aiming. There we go. Okay, that one is in. So we have the turn signal. I've put it on the outside. Many guys were very unhappy because I originally had it on the inside. Right, let's put in the tail light slash stop light or brake light. Get that in place. There we go. I think that looks a whole lot better. I've got this coming out now, breaking up this vertical surface. I like that a lot. We've got some depth here. But I don't know, it still lacks something. We still need a bezel. You know what we need? We need some bling. We need something that shines. I found this piece of aluminium tubing. For my mates in the States, that's the same thing as aluminum. It's about 10 millimeters in diameter, 3/8. It's got quite a bit of a wall thickness. So I'm going to see if I can give it a 180-degree bend around this piece of 3-inch pipe. Let's see if it's going to work. Now that's looking pretty good. It's not kinking. Nice. There we go. That worked well. I've made 4 of them, and my plan now is to make up these oval sections by cutting it to the right length and joining 2 together to try and bend this in one go. It's just too damn difficult, man. This is going to be a lot easier. So these bits of round bar is a nice tight fit inside the tube. They're going to help me line things up, and after some careful measuring and cutting, I can now put this together, something like that. And there I have my trim ring, or bezel, or what would you like to call it? I've drilled 4 holes for attaching it. I'm going to use this piece of Scotch-Brite to just shine it up a little bit. So I'm sure you could polish it up to a mirror finish if you want, but I'm not going to bother with that. A little bit of shine is enough for me. Okay, so let's try my new aluminum bezel. Yes, man. I think that looks awesome. That's what's been missing. I'm going to fasten this. I think I'm just going to pop rivet it on. And then we can, well, you can already see it, that I would like to stand back and get a final view, but I like it a lot. I think the pop rivets will look better than some screws. There you go, both of my bezels are in place and the taillights, and I like the look of this a lot better. Actually, I smack it a lot. Sometimes you got to do things twice to get it nice. Here's my previous one that I made in a previous video from mild steel. Not going to use that anymore. And I might just maybe add that this orange color down the line will darken when I put the oil on. I'm just wiping it now with a wet rag just to simulate the look. So I reckon once we've got that in place, it'll look even nicer. So many of you guys suggested reverse lights or backup light to be mounted down here to go with that half round there. So let me see if I can oblige. I've been collecting stuff for a long time, and I found this box that's got these nice lights in. Unfortunately, the one of them is broken. This is actually glass. It's got written on it made in England. So this is actually brand new, old school stuff. Unfortunately, the one is broken. Still think I'm going to use them. It's just a rat rod. I'm going to maybe see if I can fix this with epoxy or come up with a plan. So let's go and try these. Okay, it should go into the hole now. There we go. Well, there's your reverse lights. Maybe this will grow on me. Kind of feeling there's too much shine in the back here now. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm going to leave them in for now. I can always take them out down the line if it bothers me too much. But yeah, those of you guys who wanted reverse lights, you've got reverse lights. I think I need to take the yellow paint off on the inside of the tailgate. But this truck is pretty much together now here in the back. The only thing outstanding is a license plate. And then maybe down the line I'll do a bumper of sorts or a tow bar. And I'm not going to stress about that now. So my next thing is electricity. I need to pull some wire so we can make all this work. And obviously the rest of the truck. So that'll be in my next video. Thanks for spending time with me. I enjoyed it. I'll see you in that next video when we start playing with electricity. Have a lekker one.